Hello! Coming at you live and indirect from directly under my weighted and heated blanket. So I actually feel like I'm in some sort of like furry sauna, which is actually extremely pleasant. So I had a little bit of feedback about the sound from episode 3, where I tried to record it in a cupboard, and it actually made it worse. So turns out you need to actually have like stuff in the cupboard and not be facing the doors. Didn't know that. So apologies for any sensory pain that I inadvertently caused anybody. And to anyone who actually listened to that, I am very grateful, and I will try not to do that again. Unless you really liked it, you could commission me privately to create some sort of terrible sound quality podcast. Yeah, I mean, you know where I am. I'm in Greece. So anyway, today I wanted to talk about I've felt like the absolute neurodivergent alphabet soup today, the last few days. I was gutted. I was supposed to perform at a comedy night last night at here in Athens. I was going to perform some of my poetry, which I love doing because I find my poems hilarious. Most people like them, and it's pretty easy because I've done it before and it's just fun. And I was really looking forward to it, and I was just like, I just can't. And I just felt so fatigued and wiped out and totally out of spoons. I've had a lot going on. I'm basically planning a trip back to the UK to collect my cat. I need to take him for a health check. I need to get him up to Manchester. There's a big logistical thing going on. I'm also trying to prepare my flat in Athens to be like the ultimate catio balcony flat for when he gets here. So it's just been like absolutely rinsing my executive function. I've also had friends visiting from another city that I met in Argentina who live in Valencia. And I've done 2 improv workshops and a clowning workshop in like the last 6 days. And now that I've said that, I'm like, that's absolutely loads. No wonder I felt so burnt out. Like, I say burnt out. I know I'm not in full burnout, but like these are the warning signs of burnout. It's like every little thing becomes difficult. And I've realised as well quite how much of what is going on for me is PDA, which, in case you haven't heard of that before, the medical people like to call it pathological demand avoidance. And, as much as I love being pathological, the Australians have given it a nicer name, which is persistent drive for autonomy, which in a nutshell is basically like if you don't have choice, your nervous system feels trapped and it gets really overwhelmed. And I'm probably not giving a great scientific explanation of this, but the PDA Society in the UK has quite a lot of really good information actually, and some videos and in lots of different formats. But basically, like any perceived demand becomes a basic drain on the nervous system. So I've had all these kind of like social demands, logistical demands, and then there's just the demands of life. You know, I've got things to do to, you know, be kind of getting my business up and running well. I've got, you know, sort of feeding myself, washing my clothes, having clean pants, all of that kind of stuff. And then I'm also like, because I moved into this flat quite recently, I'm ordering loads of stuff so that like it's not just an empty shell of a place. And there's a courier service here in Greece that what they like to do is, I don't know if they come anywhere near my flat, but they're like, yeah, we're going to deliver it between this window today. Now, my name is on my buzzer and they've got my phone number and I'm waiting for them. And there's literally nothing. And then you just get a text being like, yeah, you weren't there. It's going somewhere random, like some locker, maybe. Or we'll try a different day. Or I don't know, something really just not very clear. And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. So anyway, just ranting about Greek couriers. Actually, some of them are really good. The takeaway app delivery drivers are really good, which is a problem. That's a story for another day. But I did make my own dinner tonight, so which actually is kind of relevant. Tangents, me, don't know what you're talking about. So yeah, basically I'm just like, okay, I need to just try and regulate my nervous system as much as possible and take away any demands, which in the last couple of days has meant getting Ubers instead of going on public transport. And I'm like, because for me, I'm just like €7-8, like, I'm just, it's like €1 for a journey on public transport. And I'm like, yeah. But sometimes I just have to catch myself just, being perfectionistic about things. And, I want to live in accordance with my values, one of which is using public transport. But I also have to remember that actually I'm disabled. So like, it is okay. It's okay to get an Uber. It's okay to just be in bed all day when you need it. So yeah, I think I started saying, so last night I was supposed to do this comedy, right? And then I just couldn't. I've postponed it till next week. The person who organises it is very lovely. But yeah, I was supposed to be going out for dinner with a friend who's leaving. And then I was just like, I'm really sorry. I can't come for dinner. Like, you can come round, but I basically can't really leave my bed. So I had this friend come round with her amazing little dog, who that really helped, having a little cuddle with him. And also I dropped random bits of cat kibble on the floor because I do this cat volunteering round every week, and there's just a giant bag of cat biscuit, and then when I'm like transferring the cat biscuit into the bag, little bits spill, and then I'm like, oh, I'll deal with it later. So it's just like floating cat biscuit around the floor. Anyway, her dog just came in and hoovered all of that up. So I was like, legend. But yeah, so after they had to head off a little early, and then the other two friends were like, oh, we've noticed you've got some flat pack furniture there in boxes being ready to be built. Shall we build that for you? I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. So, I mean, they were here until like 1:00 this morning. I've got 3 flat pack tables that have been built, and like the world's most giant cat tree, one of several, because he is going to live in Cat Kingdom. Just absolutely amazing. So, I mean, what's the point of this podcast? General episode, just noticing. In the past I would have pushed through. I'd have been like, oh, I'm just tired, and just kept going. But I'm not just tired. My nervous system needs to reset. And every demand is kind of chipping away. It's taking spoons away from me. It's depleting my battery. And if it gets below a certain level, it ain't good because I can't do anything. Oh, ruffle. So yeah, tonight is basically under the weighted blanket, the heated blanket, and I wanted to do some work on my business and getting my name out there a little bit more. And I very nearly got the laptop and did some kind of, LinkedIn stuff in bed. Just a lovely way to spend the day. But, that kind of thing that you sort of need to do when you're running a practice, because otherwise people don't hear about you. But I was like, there's a very subtle thing in my body telling me not to do that. And it has taken so much tuning in to be able to hear that little voice of my body. I'm 39. I've really only started hearing that very recently. I mean, I'd give you a time, but time blindness. So, and for me, it's not always a physical sensation. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's just this little quiet voice. And today, that little quiet voice was like, watch TV. I'm like, okay. And I really do feel like, I still feel like I need to be under the blanket and just regulating the rest of the night. But I don't feel that same, emotional depletion that I felt earlier. So I had to basically adapt the whole day. I cancelled my Greek lesson. I cancelled some other stuff. I did still do my cat volunteering, which I might talk about a bit more in a future episodio. I just did it in a, mostly easy way. I actually took one of those dot scooters, the e-scooters, on the way there, and it just cut out, halfway along a road with cars and taxis behind me, beeping at me. And then I got all Greek and I turned around and I was like, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, God, I feel so local, But also it's like, I love that the sort of, someone behind me was getting road rage and I got a bit of road rage back, but it was like my heart wasn't in it, like in the UK, it's like in the UK, road rage, it could really escalate, you know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know, people here, they just have a bit of a shout and then it's just it's no big deal. I love that. Yeah. Anyway, I'll talk more about why I think Greece and Athens is so absolutely delightful for my particular brain of neurospices. But I'm sure you don't want this to be too much longer. And I have no idea still whether the sound quality's been any good or it just sounds like a load of rustling blankets. And I'm also getting really fucking hot with my head under the heated and weighted blanket, because the weighted blanket's full of metal. So the heated blanket heats it up. So it gets really hot. So if you want to feel like you're in a Pop-Tart, right? Best thing to do, put heated blanket down, put the weighted blanket on top, turn it on for a bit. I don't know if this is fire safe. So this isn't, for legal purposes, I'm not recommending this. I'm telling you what I do. But then it heats up the weighted blanket as well, and you get in and you're like a Pop-Tart, or the innards of a Pop-Tart, I guess, but not sticky. Well, I don't know if you'd be sticky. I don't want to go into that. Bye.